And we're back. My name's Ed. This is Marissa, and this is Distant Critics. Today we're talking about the new movie Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Now, before we go further into it, we want to let you guys know that these are our opinions and our opinions alone. So if you guys have any comments about the film, by all means, leave them in the comments down below. Without further ado, Marissa, can you tell us about the plot?
After a family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down when her teenage daughter Astrid accidentally opens the portal to the afterlife.
So Beetlejuice was over 30 years in the making, and we finally got the part 2 of Beetlejuice with Tim Burton directing, Michael Keaton coming back, Winona Ryder, a whole list of an amazing cast. And I want to know, Marissa, what are your initial thoughts about this film?
And I'm gonna be honest, I've been going back and forth between the first film and the second film. I like the second film more than the first film from some aspects, and then I like the first film more than the second film on some aspects. So I'm really, like I said, like divided in the middle. I think this film was really fun. The first film, was a little bit slower in the beginning, kind of had its moments, but I felt in the second film the actors showed more of like who they were, especially Catherine O'Hara. I thought she was by far the best part of this, even though you have Winona Ryder as like the main part and then Michael Keaton as the main part and stuff like that, but I just thought Catherine O'Hara like played this to the max and just did amazing at this film. Jenna Ortega was kind of like, I feel like she's going to one role, like sticking to one role, if that makes sense. Like she has one characteristic now, and that's kind of what I've been seeing as a trend, like with all her movies and how she be acting and stuff like that. Overall, great film, like I said. The only thing that kind of bothered me in this film was when they had 2 active stories, right? 2 active plots, 2 active stories. And the one with the guy, the little boy or the teenage boy, how they ended him so abruptly. Like they just took that story out abruptly. I thought there was going to be more to it, and they were going to have to try to figure out how to make sure that he didn't get into the real world and stuff, or, all this kind of stuff. Like I thought there was going to be so much more, and they just ended him. Like they just took him out. And I was like, okay.
yeah. I mean, a lot of what you said, I really do agree with. Like you said, there are certain things in the film that I feel like if you're gonna put them in, then like at least dedicate some time and effort to that storyline. So there was that guy specific, and then there's Beetlejuice's ex-wife. I feel like both of those storylines, they were both cut abruptly, especially the guy, and then his ex-wife. She's kind of in the background the whole movie, and then finally when she does show up, it's like it's gone. So I could have lived without that. Me personally, I would have preferred more Beetlejuicing in this film, if that even makes sense. Like the beginning part of the film, it takes a while to pick up, and then once we do get Beetlejuice, he's kind of in and out the movie a lot, and we don't get to see him as much as we do in the first. And while I do love Michael Keaton in this role, I feel like he was just born to play this role. Like he hasn't missed a step playing Beetlejuice, and I just wish we had a little bit more of that. We had so much of side stories going on, and Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega, their story going on, that Beetlejuice kind of took a step back in this film.
It's just ironic because the movie is called Beetlejuice, and we barely see anything that has to do with Beetlejuice. So
Now, I mean, I do like the animation that they do. It's very reminiscent of the first film, very nostalgic type of film. But I agree with you with Jenna Ortega. Like she's kind of playing these same roles. She's very much like Wednesday Addams in this film. And then Catherine O'Hara, agree with you. I think she was also the star of the film. She finally gets to like show her comedic chops. You see that
Mhm.
in shows like Schitt's Creek and stuff like that, and she's really just
Yeah.
bringing that version of her to this film, and it's hilarious. But overall, I do think it's a fun film. I do like the first one better, pacing wise, probably, and a few other things, but there's enough that if people like the first film, they're gonna like the second film just because of those nostalgic factors.
Okay, I will say one thing. They did not have to do Bob like that.
Nah.
At the end, near the end of the movie, they did not have to do it like that in loving memory and stuff like that. I did not want that to happen. But overall, too, Tim Burton has my heart. His films have my heart. So this movie is going to be a recommend for me and will always be a recommend for me. The first one and the second one. Ed, what is it for you?
Yeah, I also agree. This is going to be a recommend for me as well. I think Tim Burton has that artistic style that's really hard to replicate, and you clearly feel his fingerprints all over this film. So that, along with the acting um, and the nostalgia factor, it's all a recommend for myself. But most importantly, we want to know what you guys have to say about this film. If you liked it, if you didn't, whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comments down below.
And if you have any other suggestions on any movies that we should review, please leave a comment down below so we can turn your idea into reality.
And thank you guys so much for joining us today on Distant Critics.
Thank you.